Today on the table I have the Mossberg 500 Tactical and the Mossberg 930 Home Security. You will see a price split of about $88. The 930 Home Security is about $88 more than the 500. Both of them do have a Parkerized finished. Now the Mossberg 930, this does use a metal trigger guard. The 500, it is plastic. The 500 is also just a little bit lighter than the 930. The 500 does have a longer overall length, but because of the way the 500 is, where it's got that barrel extension right there, even though it's got a longer barrel and a longer magazine tube, it does have the exact same capacity. 7 in the tube, 1 in the pipe. The 500 does have a heat shield. I mean, this whole setup looks pretty awesome. I definitely give the style points to the 500. Now I'm going the Mossberg Home Security the Mossberg 930 Home Security because all the rest of the 930s use ghost ring sights, and if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know how I feel about ghost ring sights. If you haven't, here, just click on this video right here, I break it all down. Now, as much as I hate to say it, there is a case to be made for ghost ring sights on a pump action shotgun. That case, I do not feel applies to a semi-automatic shotgun, because the whole point of a semi-auto is speed. You're buying a semi-auto so you can shoot faster. Ghost ring sights is killing your ability to shoot fast. Coming into action with a bead sight, and you can start shooting. Ghost ring sights, line your sights, now you can start shooting. And the recoil, if they jostle your head around, which is very possible because this is a 12 gauge, well, now your head's out of alignment and you got to realign and start shooting again. So that whole speed advantage with a semi-auto is rendered a moot point if you're to put ghost ring sights on this. Now this is drilled and tapped, so you could put a red dot or whatever on here. Again, I feel strongly the only sight that should ever be on a shotgun is a bead sight. You start throwing ghost rings on there, red dot, something like that, the shotgun's probably going to be your secondary weapon. You're probably going to have a rifle as a primary. So now you're adding variables to your shotgun that could cause problems. Not cool. You want your shotgun to be simple, you want it to be reliable. So if you do have to use it for whatever reason, you're good to go. Now the 930 does use a load gate. I hate load gates because it makes it hard for your double feed or your triple feed, but this one isn't that bad. The 930 does have a, I don't know if you want to call it a automatic fail button, or you know what, I'm going to call it a suicide button. Now this is very common on semi-autos. This isn't just for Mossberg. Beretta uses it. I don't think Benelli does. A couple of people have commented and said they didn't, but I have to see it for myself to know for sure, and I'm not sure about FN. But basically this button is designed for 1, dropping the bolt, 2, for unloading the shotgun. So you'd push in the load gate, press the button, and then you can take your ammunition out. But say for whatever reason, you know, I don't know, you're clearing your house or something, and you bump this button with a wall. Now you got a double feed. You'll be able to fire the round inside the chamber, but then when it goes to cycle, it's jammed up. The easiest way to take care of this problem is you hold your bolt with your hand, then you put your hand in there, push the other one back into the load tube, and then your bolt can go forward. Now the Mossberg does not have a chrome line barrel or chamber. They do that to keep the cost down, but that does have a disadvantage. For example, this isn't that popular of a shotgun. So they test fired this at the factory, and the parts are all rusted up now, so the action works very hard. I put some oil on it. I couldn't actually work the action when I first started playing with this. I had to hold the action bar and mortar it against the ground to get the cartridge out, but I put some oil on it now and it seems to be working better. I mean, this is some of the rust I just wiped off there, and I'm not even trying hard. So it is going to require a detailed clean if you use the 930. You're also going to want to be careful with both these shotguns, because neither of these have chrome line barrels or chambers. So if you neglect them for a very long period of time, you could run into issues. Where this is a pump action, I mean, you get a lot of leverage. So even if it does get kind of rusty, if you can get that round inside the chamber and start shooting it, it'll blow that rust out of there unless it's extremely bad. The 930 home security does not use the extended knob you'll see on like the 930 SPX, but you could order it for this, so you just don't get a lot of leverage. I mean, my pinky almost completely covers this. So if I were to buy this shotgun, yes, that would definitely be an upgrade I would do. And then I'd try to find some sort of fence system to cover this button. Kind of like on an AR, how they got a fence around it. That would be perfect for this. Then you couldn't accidentally hit it. Well, you could, but it'd be extremely difficult. Now, this is a piston-operated semi-automatic shotgun. It comes with these different parts so you can change the length of throw on the piston and how much force is going to the piston. You take this off, it's a pain to get back in. I actually planned on shooting this video about 20 minutes ago, but it took me that long to get this back together after I looked at how the internals work, because I had to take a peek. But it is a dual bar piston. Both bars push on the bolt. I'm told that's supposed to be reliable and fast. I don't know, I just don't have a whole lot of experience with semi-auto Mossbergs. It does have a, I guess you'd call it a cocked hammer indicator. So if that button ain't out, your shotgun is definitely not loaded. Both shotguns do use tang safeties. It's exactly where I'd like to see the safety. It's also got the slide release right here. Right here on the Mossberg, where you're exactly where I'd like to see it on a pump action. This doesn't use a load gate. Now the shell catch, it does have a lot of pressure. That'll wear in with time. But I like not having a load gate because it makes double feeds really easy. I mean, you can just drop the shell in there. Or if you're doing a triple, you know, then you only got to line up 2 of your shells. You only got to line up 2 of the shells in your hand, drop one in there, and then start feeding. Obviously, I'm out of practice. But the idea is, so 2 feeds, now you have 6 rounds in here. You almost have the shotgun completely topped off. Trigger brake, the 930 home security. A little bit of take up. Very little creep. It actually brakes pretty good. The 500 tactical. Again, a little bit of take up. It's heavier, but the actual snap of it seems pretty close. I do feel the 930 home security does have a better trigger. But, you know, with these being a shotgun, is that really an issue? Probably not. So, which one would I buy? Oh, I don't remember if I said it, the 930 is slightly heavier. Well, out of these 2 shotguns, yes, the 500 looks way cooler. It's definitely got some serious sex appeal going on. And the 930 is my preferred setup, because I just would not run ghost rings on a semi-auto. I've actually been looking at FN shotguns, but all of them use some sort of sighting system. That's why I haven't pulled the trigger on an FN yet. I probably never will. But the FN does have a chrome line chamber, chrome line bore, good to go. Myself, with that small price split of $88, you're going to get a semi-automatic shotgun, metal trigger guard. Yeah, the stock's crappier because you get this little plastic nub where you're supposed to hook your sling to instead of a metal sling swivel stud. But that's not that big of a deal for me because both these shotguns, these stocks won't work. They're like 14.5 inches for the length of pull. My length of pull is 12.25. So yeah, that's going to have to come off. But anyway, I would actually go with the 930. I just like the setup and I feel it's put together better. Now, if this was a bead sight version, then I'd probably be leaning towards the pump action just because of the lack of the chrome lining in this. The pump action, I could power through a rusty chamber. I could power through, like if I have a malfunction. And you're more likely to have a malfunction without a chrome-lined action. So anyways, leave in the comments below which one you would pick and why. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.